So we're setting up an X32 rack as a stage box. We're adding an S-16 in, and we're connecting them to an X32. The S-16, the snake head, is going to be by the drums, so it'll be channels 1 through 16 on the X32, and the rack is going to be up front near the vocalists, and it'll also be helping to run the main outs to the speakers, and that'll be 17 through 32. So we'll start on the rack, and we'll go to setup, and we'll go to config, and we'll go make sure the sample rate is the same as what's on the X32, which is 44.1, and we'll set its synchronization to AES-50A. The rack is connected to the X32 through the AES-50A network cable. The stage box is connected from its AES-50A into the AES-50B of the rack. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to routing. Now we're going to set this up so a person could use this for monitors, but we're setting up all the outputs to be run monitors from the X32 console. But if you set these all the locals, all the XLR outs to local, then you could use this as the monitor desk. But for me, that's a lot of typing, so the heck with it. So inputs 1 through 8, we want to come from the stage box, so we're going to set those to AES-50B 1 through 8 and 9 through 16. And then 17 through 24 and 25 through 32 are coming from the box itself, so those will be set to local. And those will be like all the vocal mics and stuff, like anything that's up front. So now let's go over to the AES-50A, and we'll tell it what we're setting to the X32 desk. So outputs 1 through 8 on the AES-50A, we're going to be setting it the snake feed, which is B 1 through 8 and B 9 through 16. And what we want to appear on 17 through 24 and 25 through 32 on the AES-50A line is the local from this desk, or from the rack, and the local 9 through 16 from the rack, and the rest we don't care about. Now here's the monitor setup. So these are your XLR outs on the back of the unit, and you can set those to whatever you want. What I'm doing is I'm setting them up as AES-50A 1 through 4 and 13 through 16. So 1 through 4, it'll pick up anything I send out the buses 1 through 4. So we got 4 wedges along the front. And 13 through 16, it'll be channel 14 will pick up the subs, and 15 and 16 will pick up the main left and right out. So I can just plug the speakers directly into the rack unit instead of running cables all the way from my desk. So that's what we set that all up to. On the rack, if you hold down the config button, you can spin the dial and you can tell it what you want it to do. We want this one to be 1 through 8, so it'll pick up all of the monitors. So 1 will be stage left, front, all the way up to 4, and 5 is usually, 4 will be a drum fill probably, and 5 will just be the sub of a drum fill or something like that. But it gives you 8, so you can play with it. You can add some in-ears or whatever. So now we're just going to set the X32 up. So we'll start with its setup. We'll make sure that it's set up a local synchronization and its sample rate is 44.1. Then go to routing, and let's set it up to be AES-50A 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, and AES-50 17 through 24 and 25 through 32. So on the rack we have the AES-50 set up. For its AES-50 outs, it'll be B 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, which will appear here as A 1 through 8 and A 9 through 16, since it's retransmitting all the B stuff on the A line. And 17 through 24 and 25 through 32 will be the output or the input jacks of the rack unit. Here, let's do this too. The AES-50A output from this is going to be 1 through 8 and 9 through 16, which are just local lines. So that gives us all of our monitors setting out to the 8 output jacks of the rack and the 8 output jacks on the Stagebox.